Hey guys, welcome back again to Cali Plants. It's me again, Mark, and we're here at the greenhouse. And for today's video, we're gonna be revisiting my plant propagations from last month. I think it was 2 months ago. And these are the plants that I've propagated so far. So these are the plants that I've been re-establishing. I've been waiting for them to propagate, to produce new pops. So you will see them here in this video. Actually, I don't have a single propagation station here at the greenhouse because I think one commenter asked me if I had a propagation station, if I can do a propagation tour on my succulents. But actually, these are spread out in this greenhouse. I've been placing them in different spots. So I just gathered them up here in this video so you will know what I'm propagating today. Okay, what I'm currently propagating here at the greenhouse. So the first one, I think we're gonna go with the Echeveria Melaka. So these are the two heads that I've cut it off. So here they are. Here are the two heads that I took off from the long stems. So now these are the resulting propagates from that stem. So you can see here that it's got a new baby here on top and another here, another baby, and there's a baby here under. And there are still little ones that are sprouting, but they're not developing at the same time. So they're not developing right away. I've seen a lot of sprouting here actually before, but now they are gone. So I think what happened is it will prioritize the ones that are at the tip of the plant. So the ones that are on the top, that's what the plant will prioritize. It will give more energy to the sprouts, or what do you say, to the heads that are at the top. So it will give more energy to that compared to the ones on the side. So you might not see it producing a lot of clumps very quickly. So I think that's what you would expect if you behead your Melaka. Okay, and now for the heads, so it's been rooting very slowly for me. It's not even yet fully rooted right now because the leaves are not getting plump, but you can see that roots are coming out at the sides. So it took a very long time for this plant to root. I think after beheading it, I had to wait for it for about 3 weeks for it to shoot out new roots. So it takes a very long time. You have to wait for it to callus, and then you have to wait for it to produce new roots. And that's how you can tell if it already needs watering, because if you water it without roots, then it will rot. So I haven't been watering it, and it really needed to become very thirsty first before it will start producing roots. So that's what I noticed with the Echeveria Melaka. I think it's the same with other succulents here. You cut the plant first, and then you wait for it to root, and then it will wrinkle, and then it will wrinkle, and only then it will start to produce roots, and only then you can water it. So only then will you see it plumping back again. So now I think it's plumping back again. So it's very slowly, and there's a lot of edema on this plant. So yeah, I think I've been overwatering it, but it's still not plump yet. So that's what happened with this one. But if you look at it, if you think about it, this used to be 2 plants only, and now there are 2 plants here, and then there are at least 2 plants there. So now I have 4 Echeveria Melaka. So that's very nice, a very nice way to multiply your plants. Beheading. The next succulent that I think I'd like to show you is the Echeveria Harry Butterfield. Okay, I always confuse this with the Harry Watson. So you can see it's got a lot of drying leaves. So it's been drying its leaves very quickly recently. So here, so it's been dropping a lot of leaves. I think because the potting mix is not yet, it's not that good. But you can see here that it produced a lot of babies, and also it's producing babies at the tip. So you can see here, it's got a baby here, it's got a baby there, really cute. So it's a very big succulent, that's what I would say, compared with our sedum burrito. It's a very big succulent because this is an Echeveria cross with sedum morganianum, so the thinner donkey tail. So it's been crossed with an Echeveria, which is why it produced this really thick looking rosettes with thick leaves, thick long leaves. So this is what it looks like once it's plump. So it's now it's plump. In my recent tour, I showed this plant and it's not yet plump, it's still wrinkled, but now you can see here the leaves are very vibrant. It just lost a lot of leaves since it was still rooting, but you can see here at the tips the leaves are so thick. It actually looks like a Echeveria hybrid right now because the leaves are so thick. Looks like a banana. So that's what it looks like. So it's a very beautiful succulent. It's a trailing plant if you manage to grow it very long. So some other sellers will sell it as an upright plant, but it's actually a trailing plant. So you can put it in a hanging pot, which like this. So you can see after beheading, it started to give energy to the side pups here. So it's been growing a lot more quicker. Also, it's been dropping a lot of leaves. So I think I will have to repot it. But what I would say, if you're beheading your succulent, don't repot them right away because they might not have all the energy to reestablish themselves without their heads. So now I'm waiting for it to produce much bigger heads on this side. So once it's gotten a lot more bigger, then I will repot this in a new potting mix because I think it's been root bound here in its old potting mix. But you can see here there's a lot of new growth, right? So pretty, so lush looking. Next, the Luxiflora. So this is a plant that I rejected, neglected a lot recently. You can see that it doesn't look very nice. It's very shrinkled. It dropped a lot of leaves because I haven't been watering it, but I will water it soon. These are the two heads that I took off from these two stems, and there's a lot of pups here. So the Luxiflora is a very resilient succulent. If you are one that doesn't care for their plants very often or neglects your plants very often, the Luxiflora will stand the test of time for you. It will still stay alive even if you neglect it. So this one, I will still have to water it, but I believe that it will produce new growth once I watered it back again. The next is the Peach Pride. So you can see here, this is the stem right now. Really nice, isn't it? And when I took off the 3 heads it had, there are no pups on the sides. So it was just a 3 heads and then this one pup at the side, just this one, but now it's producing a lot more heads. Isn't that so amazing? Very nice. And it's been very thirsty recently. It's one that will absorb a lot of water quickly, so you will have to water it more often than your other succulents. These other ones I haven't been watering them, but here are the 3 heads that we took off from that plant. So I've been showing this a lot recently in my videos because I really like this succulent. If you want an easy succulent that you can water frequently, I would recommend the Peach Pride because it's got thin leaves, so it will grow much quicker than the thicker leafed Echeverias out there. Okay, next one. This is our Graptopetalum paraguayense babies. You can see here they're getting big, right? I think that this is the best plant to propagate via leaf right now. Echeveria leaves are very slow to propagate. They don't produce pups right away. I have a lot of Echeveria leaves that just die. They don't produce pups. Okay, so this is my leaf propagations. This is an Echeveria Monroe. So it didn't produce pups. So it just shrinkled and died. So the ones that will produce pups via leaf much more quickly is the ghost plant. I believe this is a Haggai tolimanensis leaf. I took it off from the rotting plant, so now it's producing pups. So the Haggai tolimanensis is a thicker leaf succulent, so it will naturally produce babies much more quicker than the thin leafed ones. Another ghosty leaf propagation. So I have them here at the tray. So I will be putting them in pots. Once they have some roots, I will be putting them in grow bags, much like this one. Okay, so yeah, not all Echeveria leaves will produce pups, so you will have to take a lot if you want to propagate a lot. But I would recommend that if you really want your Echeverias to propagate, just do the beheading version, just do the beheading method. It will produce much more pups much more quickly, and also since they are already established, you can be assured that the plant will just keep on growing even if you took off the head. So it will just keep on growing. Compared with our leaf propagations, they will not develop if they don't produce roots. So producing roots is very long for succulents. It takes a lot of time for leaves to produce roots. It will produce leaves first. Okay, so the mother leaf will produce leaves first before it will start producing roots, which is a bummer because we all know the roots is what will add energy to the plant. So without roots, it will not develop very quickly. Okay, now we're gonna go with our rooted leaf propagations. So here they are. So these are my leaf propagations. Actually, not all of this is leaf propagated. This one, the Echeveria apus, is actually a big succulent before that got rot and I had to behead it, and now that's the only one remaining. So we have all these other Echeveria propagations here. They've been growing very slowly for me, so I think I will be adding fertilizer to them so that they will grow much more quicker, because they really take a very long time to grow, and also I haven't been watering them a lot. So yeah, the leaf propagations really needs to be propagated, really needs to be watered much more often than our beheaded succulents. So our beheaded succulents, much like this one, you can treat it like any other succulent. You can water it along with your other matured succulents, but the leaf propagations, you will have to be much more mindful of them, because if they don't get watered right away, they will shrivel the leaves and they will die. So this one I think already needs to be watered. And also it's very difficult for leaf propagations. It's very difficult to determine if a leaf propagation is already thirsty, because since the leaves are very small, you're not yet sure if they need water. So if they don't look, sometimes they will look like they're plump, but they actually need water. So they're a little bit harder to care for than our stem propagated succulents. It's very noisy here. Okay, so I think what will give you more success when it comes to propagation really is beheading, stem propagation, and not leaf propagation. So I think that stem cuttings will produce much more new babies for you, will multiply your plants much more quicker compared to our leaf propagations. And also you can see here, this one is about the same age as these leaf propagations, because I think I took this leaf at the same time that I beheaded this plant, and you can see that the pups here are already much more bigger than the leaf propagation here. So if you want to grow bigger succulents much more quickly, and if you want to propagate succulents much faster, I would really recommend beheading your plants and not leaf propagation. I would say leaf propagations don't always have a lot of success. So a lot of leaves will really die before you start producing pups with them. So I really would recommend beheading your succulents and not leaf propagations. So I think that's about it for my succulent propagation tour. These are all the propagates that I'm currently growing. Actually, if you buy new succulents, you are like propagating them again, because you buy them uprooted through online. You don't get roots when you get them. So I think the way you treat your newly bought succulents, and also the way you will be treating your succulent propagation. So if they're not yet established, they need a lot more care than your more established succulents. So that's about the tips that I can give you in this video. If you want to see more updates on these succulents, if you would like to know what they will look like after a month, after 3 months, or after a year maybe, I will be making new updates on this one. So if you don't want to miss that out, please make sure to hit the subscribe below. And also, if you really like propagating succulents, please like this video and please share it with your friends if you have friends that are caring for succulents as well. Now that's about it for this video, guys. I really hope you enjoyed this one, and I will see you on the next video. Bye bye.